The other thing I wanted to get into about these headlines is the MVP race. Um, do I want to? I do want to do this. I do want to take the Michael Jordan route here, right? Because the NBA needs a criteria, and I've done a podcast on this, but that was a while ago, so I don't think everybody's seen it. So I've done a little research on this, and I kind of want to take y'all through it. It ain't gonna take me long though, but I kind of want to take y'all through how I look at the MVP. And how I think the NBA should look at it. They got an opportunity to reset a lot of things in the NBA to make it better. So last year, the year before last, they decided we're going to name all of our trophies after legends. So I think they created 2 new trophies: the Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals MVP, named it after Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. They named Mr. Clutch after Jerry West. I want to say they named the Finals MVP after Bill Russell, and so on and so forth. And they named the regular season MVP after Michael Jordan. Right now, here's my thing with the regular season finals, or not the regular season MVP. It's such a prestigious award that takes into account 82 games of the regular season. And they picked Michael Jordan to name it after. So I think here's an opportunity for the NBA to really just not use Michael Jordan's name, but use what Michael Jordan stood for and how he played the game as a standard on how they pick the award winners. So if we did that, we have to go and realize what Michael Jordan did when he won his MVPs, right? We can pull up some of Michael Jordan's stats, right? And I want to say, let me see the year he made MVP, right? So I'm going to use the 87-88 year. That's his first MVP, right? So if you look at the 87-88 year, Michael Jordan played all 82 games. So I think part of the criteria, and now, mind you, after I sit here and bring all this stuff up that Michael Jordan did, I want that to be a standard, and whoever gets closer to that standard should be the most considered or heavily considered for the award, right? But also, it should be able to weed people out, because you can not qualify if you don't do certain things, right? So 82 games was what Michael Jordan played when he won his MVP. Most of his MVP. He played 82 games a lot. But if we just talking about his first MVP, he played 82 games this season, right? So playing the most games. So let's say you got 5 candidates, and let's say it's Jokic, SGA, Tatum. That's the top 3 candidates. And SGA played 80 games, Jokic played 70, and Tatum played 72. I would grade SGA playing the most games. I would grade him highly on that. You make a checklist, and if it's 5 candidates, whoever played the most game would get a five in that checking the box, and then the person under him will get 4, and so on and so forth, all the way to number 1, right? So you get 5 points for that, for playing the most games, because that's the closest, to the standard. The standard is 82, but whoever gets closest gets the most consideration in that regards, right? Then Michael Jordan was a scoring juggernaut, right? And we can broaden it to offense, because some people just don't score, some people assist as well. So you have to be an offensive juggernaut, and I don't care how you do it. You can do it with scoring a lot and assisting. Because he averaged 6 assists. So that's not like 2 assists or 3 assists, it's 6. 6 assists is pretty good. So 35 points and 6 assists, that's offensive juggernaut to me. 30 points and 10 assists, okay, it's about to, it levels out, right? So I don't care if you score a lot and assist average, it just can't be below average, right? So you score a lot and assists, I'm cool with that. Now, if you score a lot but not as much as Jordan at 35, let's say you like Jokic, you scoring 29, but you're assisting at 9 or 10. Okay, if you do it that way, cool. But I'm not going to give more consideration to a guy whose offense wants him to assist the ball versus a guy whose offense just want him to score and they have a point guard that assists the ball. Like Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum has 3 point guards. He's got a starting point guard in Drew Holiday. He's got a backup point guard in White. And then sometimes when they want to play White and Drew together in the starting lineup, they come off the bench with Pritchard, where he's a scorer. But at the end of the day, Tatum is not being asked to run the offense. They want Tatum to score and play defense. So I'm not going to penalize a player whose team is asking him to score 30 every night and be the go-to guy just because it's another team that's asking his guy, hey, we want you to score and then we want to run the offense through you as well. So you're going to get more assists. That don't make your offensive value higher than my offensive value for my team, especially if the results is better on my side. And in Boston's case, they're winning more than Denver is. So you can't tell me Jokic offensively is more valuable than Tatum just because their team is asking them to do different things and asking Jokic to do more on offense, but they're asking Tatum to actually do more on defense and offense. It's not adding up. So just be an offensive value to your team, offensive juggernaut. That's a criteria. Checking the box. Boom. Offensive juggernaut. Jokic he checks that block. Tatum checks that block. Offensive juggernaut. SGA checks that block. Offensive juggernaut. So boom, they're still in the fight. They're playing all the games as much as possible. They all got offensive value and offensive juggernauts. One does it with scoring and assisting at a high level. One does it with scoring at a high level and assisting average. Cool with that, right? Then you look at the green circle. Michael Jordan also got Defensive Player of the Year that year, right? So not only did he average 35 points and was the scoring leader for the season, he got a scoring title. He also got the steals title, was all team first defense, all NBA first team, and the Defensive Player of the Year. So he had defensive value as well. Tatum checks that block. SGA checks that block. Jokic does not check that block as far as defensive value. He has no defensive value. So he don't check that block. So for me, Jokic doesn't qualify as high as SGA and Tatum does just because he doesn't have the defensive value. Now, does that make him fall all the way out of the running for MVP? No, it don't make him fall all the way out because he overcompensates on the offensive area. So I make a small exception for Jokic, right? But now I won't make that exception for Luka because he doesn't try to play defense at all. He's probably the worst defender in the league. I've never had Luka in my MVP race. I've always had Jokic in my MVP race though. He tries on defense, right? So but he falls under Tatum and SGA because he doesn't have the value defensively that they do. And then you have to have team success, right? So got to have team success. And I want to say, let me see if I can find out how many games that their Bulls won. They won 50 games that year, which was above average for that season. If you look at the East, I think the best record in the East that year was Boston with 57 wins. So you got 57 wins for Boston. You got 54 wins for Detroit and 50 wins for the Bulls. So that was the third best team in the East, right? I'm not accepting team success below that unless it's under certain circumstances, right? So I'm looking for my MVP candidates amongst the top 3 teams on each coast, East and West. You start getting down there, 6th seed, 5th seed, 7th seed. Why the hell are we even considering you? Like, whatever you're doing stat wise ain't even helping your team win. I'm sorry, you're in the 6th seed. I'm not considering you, right? So, top 3, top 4. I consider those guys. If I consider that team success, you get home court advantage in the playoffs, at least one round. But so I consider those guys. So those are the things I look for. I look for offensive value, and I think I got an illustration for that. I look for offensive value, I look for defensive value, and I look for your team success. That's the Michael Jordan standard. The trophy is named after Michael Jordan, right? That's the Michael Jordan standard. So that's what I look for. It's very simple: offensive value, defensive value, and team success. Right. So with that being said, Unspoken Voices asks, can you check your ball usage? Whose ball usage? Mine or players? I might not understand that question though. And somebody said, hold on, let me get to these comments. I might have to open the phone lines up for this. He said they don't have the value offensively that he does. Why not? You mean they don't have the volume that he has? So you're confusing recording stats with value. Bruh, the ends justify the means, right? So whatever I'm doing that's valuable to my team, you can see that in how successful my team is. And Boston is more successful than Denver, have been for years. So whatever Tatum is doing must be valuable, and just as valuable if Jokic is not more. But even if it's not valuable, is Jokic, like let's say you're right, Jokic is more valuable on offense than Tatum is. If Jokic is doing, if offense is 50% of the game and defense is 50% of the game, and whatever Jokic is doing is maxing out at 50%, but whatever Tatum and SGA is doing is at 40%. Okay, cool. But if you look at the defensive end, whatever Tatum and SGA doing on the defensive end is maxing out at 50, and whatever Jokic is doing is at like 10%. So who's closer to 100? 40 and 50 is 90, right? And then 50 and 10 is 60. So more value overall to the team is the guy who's elite offensively and elite defensively versus the guy that's elite offensively that does more but does way less defensively. I just don't understand how can you make an argument for the guy that don't play defense at a high level? Where's the argument that he's more valuable? Like where's the argument for that? How is he more valuable? Right? Phone line can open up for that. I want to know how Jokic is more valuable if he don't play defense, and the other candidates do. I still got Jokic number 3, right? So he can obviously be considered over guys that like Mitchell. Like Mitchell have a better record, right? But I'm being fair. Jokic is more valuable and higher on the MVP ladder than Mitchell is, and Mitchell got the best record in the league. But I got Jokic over him. I just can't have him over Tatum and SGA, who both are elite defensively. I just can't do it. Can't do it, man. He want to make every other straw man argument. How the hell is Magic in your top 10? Is off if offense is just 50? That is horrible logic. What? What? We talking about an MVP race. Obviously, if we're talking about a top 10 all time, we're taking into account how often you won, which is the most important thing. And Magic won 5 times and went to 7 finals. I mean, I like it's a whole different criteria. I just gave you a graphic because I know a lot of people like to read their books with pictures in it. Some people just can't read the book without pictures. I gave you a whole graphic that gave you, if you look in the middle, that says MVP, which stands for most valuable player, and it's got the MVP trophy in there. This is my criteria for most valuable player during the regular season. This is not my criteria for who's the all-time greatest. Y'all don't even know how to even y'all don't even know how to even have a conversation. How's it horrible logic? This ain't even my logic for who's the greatest of all time. Not even. This is my logic for how I look at MVP candidates in the NBA during the season. Right? Caller from Missouri, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Mel?
What's up?
Man, so I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been kind of distant from the NBA. When I say distant, meaning following a lot of teams. I still follow my team, and then I check, news. I check, what you guys saying, what some other shows are saying. But it's hard for me to just watch some games. Now, there are teams that are exciting to watch. I would admit they play hard. Even though Tibbs run his teams, he run his players into the ground. They play hard.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna always get that from a Tibbs basketball ran team. Boston, like you say, play on both sides of the ball. It's really hard for me looking at Joker and what's his name down there in Dallas? I don't know why I forgot his name. Luka, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard for me looking at them and considering them the best players in the world or the best players in the NBA. It's just hard for me to do that, man. No, seeing how, and I'm not taking away, nothing from their skills, but it's like, is he really the best player in the NBA? Is Joker really the best player in the NBA? When he does some good things, he's got some skills, but, and I was talking, this one sports group I'm in, they, some of those guys like to piss on the 90s and piss on the 80s, right? And so I hit back and I said, you put Joker up against Elijah Wan and Shaq and Ewing and David Robinson. I'm talking about the best centers from the 90s. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you can go back to the 80s. You got Kareem and some of the other centers from the 80s. Y'all think the Joker's going to be dominating those dudes?
No.
I don't even know if, and you could opine on it, Mel, but I don't even know if they're really, how do I say this? If the league has real centers to compete against them right now, because it's all, they got these guys shooting threes and doing all kind of weird stuff other than playing the five, like we're used to a five playing. You follow what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is this. I don't know when we got here or how we got here, but the new fans of the NBA, they, whatever the numbers tell them is reality. So if Jokic is getting triple doubles and nobody else is, then that gotta mean that he's better than everybody. Like they're very amazed by triple doubles, very amazed. If I play 1,000 years so I can be number one in scoring, then that means that I'm the best scorer of all time. Right? It is what it is, and you can't get mad at them for thinking like that. But that's just a flawed way of thinking to me. And I just want to be a little wiser than that. The numbers don't tell the whole story for me. A triple double not gonna tell me Jokic is better. I know SGA right. And Tatum is better than him. Yeah, they definitely better than Luka as well. So I mean, it is what it is.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I know Shaq. Shaq would bully him, but Elijah Wan, man, the dream, man, please.
Yeah, he ain't got no for Hakeem on either side of the floor.
But the dude don't really play defense. It's like you're big and don't I don't know, man.
And it ain't no
To me,
consequences for it. Like, so think
right.
of it. You can play no defense and get 3 MVPs on your way to a fourth one, right? And then Luka, if it wasn't for him being out of shape and fat and missing too many games, he would be in the running for MVP just based on his numbers.
And that's a shame. They should be ashamed of themselves, man. I tell those guys all the time, Luka, fat, out of shape, slow. Yeah, he can score, but he don't play defense. And then y'all want to sit here and try, because remember Charles Barkley was going off on him, and and I had mentioned, how Luka is just terrible to me. I mean, he can score, but terrible. And I don't know. I mean, look at Kyrie, for example. Kyrie is a great scorer. Uh, I guess you can, I mean, he can facilitate. He can do all those things, but Luka dominates the ball. Got Kyrie playing two guard, basically. Um, and people would think that Luka is the best player on that team, talent wise. And any NBA fan that knows basketball know good and well that Luka is not better than Kyrie.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
But these dudes wanted to tell me that not Kyrie, but Luka, Luka's better than Chuck, and Chuck, because Chuck didn't play defense. I'm like, man, y'all crazy, man. I mean, we know Chuck had his lazy moments. Don't get me wrong, but Chuck could play deep when Chuck wanted to play defense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he had to guard freaking Karl Malone and all them daggone power forwards that was back then. Boy, Kemp, Karl Malone. Yeah, he was at 6'5". You know what I mean? So
right.
Yeah, I ain't look. He gave his effort. He just was a little chubby sometime though.
And so where I'm at with right now with the current NBA is like they want to pop these dudes up as the best in the NBA, and I'm like, you got a fat dude who dominates the ball, and you look at him, he's like, how's this dude even on the court? He's so out of shape, it's ridiculous. And then you got Joker, a five that don't play defense and ain't trying to block those shots. I don't understand that, bro. But we supposed to celebrate this. This is supposed to be the best. And to your point, you were making some great points. Do you see Denver winning another championship?
No, they ain't gonna get back to
it. Dallas ain't gonna make it back either.
Nope.
Who in the West you see taking over?
Rockets and OKC.
That's interesting. There's some young hungry dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked that the Kings have kind of fell apart with the level of talent that they had.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I think something was going on in that locker room because the way they moved on from Mike Brown, the way it seemed like Fox been disconnected all year. Like Fox moved up in my top 3 point guards last year and year before last. And he just wasn't playing like that this year, man. Like I had SGA and Fox up there with Kyrie and Steph Curry. You know what I mean? Last year. And then Fox came out here and just looked, good one game, and the next game he don't look good. And I just couldn't figure out what was going on. And it was a contract year. He said the contract wasn't bothering him, but I think it was. And then, he said something slick when they fired Brown. I don't think he wanted that to go down. So I think that kind of helped him make his decision, man. Y'all got rid of the coach I like. I mean, I'm gonna roll out. But Christie's doing a good job too, though. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there.
Well, one thing we know for sure, the Lakers ain't winning it.
No.
I don't see Phoenix winning it. So now the Warriors, unless they make a good trade, I don't see them doing it either.
Nope.
And I don't think Jimmy Butler. Honestly, I like Jimmy. I mean, I know he acts crazy and do some weird stuff, but I don't see him helping the Warriors get over the hump. But what has been brewing is the news came out that the Warriors are interested in a player that plays on my team is Zach LaVine. But what the Bulls would, in order to facilitate that trade and match the salary, the Warriors would have to give up Wiggins.
I think they'll do that. I mean, Wiggins and Kuminga do the same thing in a way. Except Wiggins just shoot better. But Wiggins and Kuminga, same player, interchangeable. Take your pick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The problem is Steve Kerr and his system. It's just not working no more. Like, you want to play small ball, you want to play with Draymond at center or Draymond at 4 with Jackson or freaking Looney. I just hate his lineups, man. I hate him putting Gary Payton Jr. at power forward and small forward, and Kuminga and Wiggins at power forward, and I just hate that, man. I hate the way he I hate the way he coach is played out. It's time for him to go, man. But let me go ahead and end this phone call, man, and move on to the next topic, though, bro.
Go ahead.
All right. Thanks.